The Best Things 2023 is the year of reflection. As we wrap up the year's videos, we've been looking back at some of our favorites. Join us as we count down the best things of 2023 and reflect on the stories that shaped the year. Winter had a way of making Alex's apartment feel as if the walls were breathing warm, then cold, then warm again, as if the building itself couldn't make up its mind. The old beige thermostat in the hallway was a stubborn relic, with a tiny wheel and a guess for a brain. Mornings were an icebox until Alex shuffled out to nudge the dial, waited for the vents to cough awake, then stood by the kitchen sink blowing into cupped hands while the kettle worked overtime. Summer wasn't better. Afternoons turned the place into a greenhouse. Evenings were a negotiation between stale warmth and the electric whir of an overworked air conditioner. The bills reflected the chaos. Spikes, dips, surprise surges that arrived with a slap. Alex kept saying, "I'll learn the schedule," as if the thermostat were a pet that needed training. But every season, the same dance. Too hot, too cold, too late. The worst part wasn't discomfort. It was the drip-drip of attention it demanded. Heat on, fan auto or on. The hallway became a checkpoint, a place where Alex paused multiple times a day to perform a ritual that never stuck. It felt like living with a faucet that refused to stop leaking until you jiggled it every hour forever. The spark of curiosity, it was a Saturday dinner at a friend's place, that planted the seed. Their living room felt tuned. Not warm, not cool, just right, like walking into a well-kept secret. Midway through pasta, the vents whispered on for a minute, then fell silent. No groan, no rush of air, just a measured breath. "What's your trick?" Alex asked. "Floor covering. Smart thermostat," the friend said, nodding toward a small glassy disc on the wall. "It learns when we're home, drops the temp when we're out. It realized I get up around 7 before I did." "That's not possible," Alex said reflexively, half joking. "Neither were cars that parked themselves," the friend shot back. "Try living with one for a month. You'll forget how you tolerated anything else." Alex laughed, but the words stuck the way useful things do. Try living with one for a month. The leap that night, Alex fell into the familiar review rabbit hole. Videos showed thermostats that looked like jewelry. Clean circles, soft glows, quiet confidence. Articles mentioned learning schedules, geofencing, adaptive recovery.
Ow.
The buzzwords felt like marketing until Alex recognized the underlying promise. Stop babysitting your climate, let it care for you. There were debates, the engineer types arguing over compatibility, the energy nerds comparing kilowatters, the minimalists praising the app's simplicity. Every thread led to the same conclusion. When the thermostat stops being a clock, you fight and becomes a system that learns. The entire house exhales. Alex clicked buy. The total was not nothing, but the math felt reasonable. If the bills eased and mornings softened, the device would earn its keep. Unboxing and installation, the box arrived on a raw, windy afternoon. Inside, a small, glossy puck. A square base with tidy labeled terminals, a set of wire labels, and a screwdriver that felt better than any free screwdriver had a right to feel. The guide spoke calmly. "Turn off power to your HVAC." Alex flipped the breaker, returned to the hallway, and faced the beige fossil. Removing the old thermostat was like peeling a sticker from a school binder. Behind it, a tangle of thin colored wires and a tiny hole into the wall's dusty past. Alex labeled each wire Y, G, W, R, like a person learning the alphabet all over again, then snapped the base plate level. The new face clicked on with a magnetic sigh. Power restored. The screen woke with a soft halo, asked for Wi-Fi, introduced itself with the kind of polite confidence only well-designed tech can pull off. "Hi, I'm here to make things easier," it might as well have said. The app paired in seconds. "Let's learn your home," it prompted. Alex smiled without meaning to. If a machine could ask to understand the rhythms of a life, maybe this would work. First weeks of learning, the thermostat began quietly, watching. For a week, Alex did the usual. Bump the heat in the morning, nudge it down when leaving, a slight lift at evening.
Action left a breadcrumb.
By day 4, the device offered a schedule that looked eerily like Alex's mood swings. Warm at 6:45 a.m. Glide down at 8:15, a gentle rise at 5:30 p.m. It wasn't a rigid timetable. It was a sketch that adjusted every time Alex did. Then came Eco Mode. The app asked permission to drop into energy-saving settings when nobody was home. "How do you know when I'm gone?" Alex asked the empty hallway. The answer was simple: phone geolocation and motion sensing. Leave the block, and after a grace period, the thermostat would let the temperature drift, turn, and the system would preheat or cool on the approach, as if tidying the living room before a guest arrived. There was also adaptive recovery, a phrase that made Alex imagine a tiny HVAC therapist. Instead of blasting heat at wake-up time, the system started early. Learning how long the apartment needed to coast to the right temperature right at 7, day by day, overshoot shrank. Vents became gentle. Alex's morning routine stopped at the kettle, not the hallway. Unexpected benefit surprises stacked up in quiet ways. The energy report arrived each Sunday short, readable. How many hours of heating, cooling? What changed? Where savings landed? It felt less like a utility bill and more like a coach handing over a progress card with a wink. "You saved 2 more hours this week. Nice." Humidity data appeared on a rainy Tuesday, and the system automatically limited runtime to keep the place from going clammy. On pollen-heavy days, the fans cycled more frequently, but shorter, keeping air fresher without the AC marathon. The vent's old whoosh-clunk rhythm was gone, replaced by small, frequent breaths. The apartment stopped feeling like it was either in a sauna or a freezer. Alex noticed sleep improving. There was a proven magic in cooler bedrooms, and the thermostat made it effortless drop a couple degrees at bedtime, rise gently before sunrise. No thinking, no walking down the hall in socks at midnight to fiddle a dial, just better nights. On a weekend trip, away mode showed its hand. 15 minutes after Alex left the neighborhood, the thermostat let the temperature drift into the efficient zone.
Ouch.
On the drive back, Alex tapped home. By the time the suitcase clunked onto the living room floor, the air felt tuned, like someone had set the lighting and temperature for a welcome home scene. Integrating the home control turned into choreography.
Alex.
Connected the thermostat to the voice assistant already stationed in the kitchen. "Set living room 272, Alex would say, while chopping vegetables, and the vents hum-agreed. Even better, routines. Good morning became a quiet cascade thermostat nudged up. Bedroom lights warmed to soft amber. The coffee maker plugged into a smart outlet clicked on. Good night dimmed lights, dropped the temperature, and set the system to a hush. When the door locked at 11 p.m., another smart upgrade. Thanks to inspiration from friends, the thermostat automatically glided into sleep mode. On late summer afternoons, time of use suggestions arrived. Energy rates are higher now. Want to pre-cool by 2 and coast? Alex hit yes, and watched the evening bill shaving become